this idea of freedom to be able to, to take off when you want or to work where you want. You can live like you want, live how you want, where you want.
We did it as a family of 8, 3.5 years on a 36-foot catamaran, traveled to over 24 countries, teaching ourselves to sail and just live like nomads.
The first question we get asked is, how were you able to do that? And it was definitely through commercial real estate.
To have success in real estate investing, you have to have 3 things. It's time, it's experience, and money.
I think that's everybody's goal, is just to be able to take more control of your life and, the freedom to have choice back.
The way that Nomad is structured and how they buy these old buildings and how they're able to complete the project for cents on the dollar compared to building ground up, to me, it's very safe. I'm really excited about Nomad, and I feel really fortunate to have met Clint to even have the opportunity, because I wouldn't have known about it.
City Storage is our brand that we manage self-storage properties with. We manage almost a dozen facilities. Nomad Capital is the syndication group that buys the property. And then as we get close to end of construction, Elm Builders is our construction division. As we get close, then City Storage is able to come in. We have a long checklist of things that we do 90 days before we open. It's very, seamless the way we hand off the project from the construction team to the management team.
Construction is notoriously slow with a ton of delays, and that typically happens because of changes. We can pivot on a dime because it's all in-house.
The response we've gotten from cities and neighbors once they see we start on the project, they're excited. They're like, man, somebody's finally breathing some fresh life back into this building.
Eric and Levi, they had bootstrapped other businesses like this in the past and had done proof of concept, so I quickly trusted the team and was able to feel confident these people care about this, they care about the people that they have invested.
You can put your money anywhere. You can put it in the stock market, you could buy real estate, you could do some sort of syndication like this, but at the end of the day, you need to put your money somewhere. Why not put it somewhere where the individuals are doing their research, their due diligence, they know what they're talking about, and it's in a project that is hands-off, passive, and it's going to work for you. You don't have to do anything. You can just set it and forget it.
The way I look at it is, essentially you're buying future days off. And if you buy enough of them, eventually you don't ever have to go back to work.
When you know your money is working and it's multiplying and you're not trading time for dollars, that's huge. You don't have to work for money. The money just comes to you and you can do whatever you want and focus on your family, important things, passions.
Whether or not you invest with us or any syndication right now, this should at least be a tool that you have in your tool belt and something that you know about because it has potential to create freedom for you and your family down the road.
I always have just kind of trained myself to take risks if we don't try. When we get to the end of our life, we're going to be like, why didn't we just try it?
Working at Nomad is one of my favorite jobs that I've ever had, and it really is just an amazing family-oriented company. Just knowing that they're willing to jump in and help us along the way with whatever it takes.
This team is very passionate. You can tell that. I mean, if you walk in here, the excitement is overflowing.
Levi will come hauling down the hall in the big hat and just shouting, "Let's go!" And everybody is just really in it for each other and their families, and it's very apparent every day.
We're also building a team that's scrappy. We're building a team that's going to listen to the market. We're building a team and we're conditioning ourselves to say, hey, we're always going to be looking at any opportunity to operate better.
We're in the projects, we're going to the site visits. One of our core phrases here is whatever it takes. Let's just buckle down and get it done.
Whatever freedom looks like to each individual person, right? I mean, it will look different for everybody. We want to help other people achieve that freedom that we're all searching for.
If you're looking for passive investments to help you live a nomadic lifestyle, then book a call today.
In a world where time is our most precious asset, are you still trading it for money? Absolute best case scenario, some of us get 100 years. We're born, we grow, we learn, and somewhere along the way, most of us end up following a career path of trading time for money. The sad reality is that my parents' generation and my grandparents' generation could save their way to retirement. They could get a job, buy a house, have a pension, 401k plus Social Security, and eventually retire. But for most of us, the ability to save our way to retirement has been taken away. You can't put your dollars away fast enough when the value of those dollars are being taken away from you through inflation and bad fiscal policy faster than you can save them. You can't play defense and get where you want to be. The math doesn't work anymore. You have to play offense. That means putting those dollars to work, and the sooner you realize that, the more time you have to change what the rest of your life looks like. Those dollars go to work buying future days off, and when you buy enough of them, you don't have to go back to work. To have success in any type of passive investment strategy, it takes three things. It's time, it's experience, and it's money. For most busy and successful people, what you really don't have is time. And without time, you can't get experience. That's where the power of syndication comes in. That's where a group of people combine investors' capital with an operator's time and experience to take on real estate projects larger than what one individual could likely take down on their own. At Nomad, we partner with passive investors for them to combine their money with our time and experience to purchase and convert old big box retail buildings into Class A climate-controlled self-storage facilities so that together we can create great returns and generate passive cash flow. You should get to decide what the rest of your 100 years looks like. You shouldn't be trading the best part of it to make someone else rich and pay for their days off. You're supposed to live a life that is bigger than trading time for money. You are supposed to live a life full of time, financial, and location independence so that together it gives you an independence of purpose. If you share the same beliefs that we do, schedule a call with us at nomadcapital.us.
I got into construction in the mid-90s and worked for a great guy in Arizona. Learned a lot about the construction industry. Went on my own in 2001, started my own construction company, Elm Builders. 2006, we had an opportunity to build a self-storage property in Arizona. In 2008, we had an opportunity to move to Costa Rica. We thought this would be a great opportunity to take our family abroad, see what international living is like. Built some projects down there, which was a whole experience of its own with 20 employees and nobody spoke English. But that was a real adventure for us as a family. That whole adventure really kind of blossomed into a 3.5-year boat adventure. We found out we were pregnant while we were in Turkey. We sailed to Israel and had a baby in Jerusalem, and then made our way across the Mediterranean. Never knew this was going to grow into such a big adventure. Even then, we weren't sure how the adventure was going to end. By this time, our older kids were in their teen years, and it was becoming clear like we need to make thoughts towards going back to the United States. So we said, well, if we can sail across the Mediterranean and feel comfortable, then we'll talk about crossing the Atlantic. So we did exactly that. In 2012, we sailed across the Mediterranean, came down West Africa, and ended up sailing across the ocean in 18 days. It's a challenging lifestyle. You know, everybody thinks you're just laying around in the sun drinking Mai Tais, but it's very challenging, but very rewarding. We were all working towards a common goal, and we were all in it together. We were all learning. So it really took a lot of pride out. Nobody had all the answers, so we were just kind of leaning on each other to figure things out and giving a lot of grace to each other, which I think has really helped our family just be patient with each other and give each other the benefit of the doubt. My wife and I started our company so that we could get more intentional about how we were spending our time and the direction we were going.
Anytime, from the boat, it was always just doing the next thing in front of us, learning how to sail. The first step was getting the boat out of the marina into a slip, and then getting this, the boat from a slip to an anchorage, and just doing literally the next thing that's right in front of us was kind of our training, I feel like, on the boat of, yeah, you're not gonna hop on the boat and then cross the Atlantic, a month later, but just doing those constant steps forward and constantly learning something, I think has been huge, especially here as we've grown the team.
So Nomad Capital is the syndication group that buys the property. Elm Builders is our construction division. City Storage is our brand that we manage self-storage properties with. We have it in the same building as Nomad Capital, and so it's very seamless the way we hand off the project from the construction team to the management team.
So the most important thing is its location. 31% of self-storage users choose to use that storage because they see the location. That's one of our most important things, is the high density areas.
If we go in and we build self-storage from the ground up, it's going to cost us $120 or $130 a square foot plus the cost of the land. By buying old big box retail that's been put out of business. We can get the shell of the building for a fraction of the replacement cost.
We get to utilize the quicker lead time as well, to utilize the faster lease-up time. We just get massive margins on it. I mean, over the life cycle of the project, the expenses relatively stay the same, but the rent continues to grow. The revenue just keeps growing and the expenses just keep declining in the scheme of things. In exchange, that leads to bigger cash-on-cash returns for our investors, a higher IRR, and some other financial metrics that determine returns.
We're in lovely Gastonia. This is actually my favorite project. It was an old sun drop bottling facility that we're converting to climate-controlled self-storage.
It's one of the big steps while we had the building under contract during due diligence, getting engineers here to evaluate the upstairs floor, if it was able to hold storage. We subcontract those to engineers and contractors that we have relationships with. We just want ugly ducklings that we can turn into swans, really, and try to find opportunity through that.
I work with the Nomad team every single day. I feel like I'm a part of their family. It's a really tight-knit community. We're all super passionate, and you can see that in our work.
We purchased this building for $1.5 million. We're going to put about $3 to $3.5 million into the renovation to turn it into self-storage.
I had a lot of issues, roof leaks, damaged concrete, all that kind of stuff that comes with buying an old building. But it's really turned around, and yeah, it's a lovely project.
As soon as we're done with our construction part, we have a appraisal that puts it at $9 million. And then as we lease it up as self-storage and operate it successfully over the next 5 to 8 years, it's going to be worth the range of 15 to 18 million.
When we started Nomad Capital, we were trying to get our story out there, but in a way that says, hey, we've got a great story, we've got a great project here, and it's going to do really well. We've got Clint and Neil that are on our investor relations team, capital raising team, and they've just done a fantastic job of, I think, more than just raising capital. I think they've done a fantastic job of telling our story.
The way that I look at my job is educating people about what our strategy is, what syndication as a whole is, kind of the mindset behind being a passive investor.
I feel fortunate to have met Clint because I wouldn't have known about syndication. So with short-term Airbnbs, it's wildly active. You're not just buying a house, putting it up for rent, and getting rich from it. The property management piece is extremely hands-on. There's only so much time and room, so we couldn't go get 20 Airbnbs and scale the way we wanted to. And it's not fun. The attraction with Nomad Capital and syndication in general is not doing anything. Just putting your money to work and letting experts with the knowledge use their knowledge.
I think that the peace of mind on who these people are as individuals, the respect that I have for them and the trust that I've been able to build with them just because of how well and transparent they communicate has allowed me to just really build that trust with them on a professional and a personal level.
We talk about all the time how we feel so proud of what we've done, but also so humbled at the same time that we are a part of this team and a part of this vision.
This team is very passionate. You can tell that. I mean, if you walk in here, the excitement is overflowing, right? So they care about the people that they have invested.
As I've gotten further away from the construction side of things, I miss that, but also I'm still building. It's just a different kind of building.
This is it. This is what we like to do. Hang out with our families, hang out with each other.
Today we're having a day just with the company, getting together and enjoying where we live. The whole idea behind Nomad Capital is, like, everybody's chasing financial freedom, but what we're really after and what we really try to embrace is freedom of purpose. It doesn't mean you're not passionate about what you do or what you choose to spend your time on, but you get to choose when you want to do it and how you want to do it, and you get to do it with friends and family, just like this. There was a lot of work for years and years, especially by Eric and Levi, that went on building up to this point. And it's trust that everybody on the team knows what they're doing and that it's worked before, got a track record.
They've been growing very rapidly since I started, and they're not slowing down anytime soon.
Super optimistic about next year. We know we've got big things as a group.
Yeah, Levi will come hauling down the hall in the big hat and just shouting, "Let's go!" And something good happened. We closed on a property. We did something amazing, and everybody is just really in it for each other and their families.
If we don't do this, we're gonna have regrets. And I really felt like that's how we feel about Nomad. Like, we think we can do it. Like, I think we can put the team together. We've got some amazing people here. And if we don't try, when we get to the end of our life, we're gonna be like,
why didn't we just try it?
I hope people see that we're just regular folks, honest, full of integrity, doing the best for our families, doing the best we can at what we do, and we try to keep life in perspective.
Levi and I are excited to share with our investors. We've built a team that we are able to help our investors achieve freedom of time, freedom of location, and financial freedom, and all of that together will lead to a freedom of purpose. That's what we're excited to share with our investors, so let's be nomads together.
If you're ready to become a real estate nomad, schedule a call with our investor relations team at nomadcapital.us.
In a world where time is our most precious asset, are you still trading it for money? Absolute best case scenario, some of us get 100 years. We're born, we grow, we learn, and somewhere along the way, most of us end up following a career path of trading time for money. The sad reality is that my parents' generation and my grandparents' generation could save their way to retirement. They could get a job, buy a house, have a pension, 401k plus Social Security, and eventually retire. But for most of us, the ability to save our way to retirement has been taken away. You can't put your dollars away fast enough when the value of those dollars are being taken away from you through inflation and bad fiscal policy faster than you can save them. You can't play defense and get where you want to be. The math doesn't work anymore. You have to play offense. That means putting those dollars to work, and the sooner you realize that, the more time you have to change what the rest of your life looks like. Those dollars go to work buying future days off, and when you buy enough of them, you don't have to go back to work. To have success in any type of passive investment strategy, it takes three things. It's time, it's experience, and it's money. For most busy and successful people, what you really don't have is time. And without time, you can't get experience. That's where the power of syndication comes in. That's where a group of people combine investors' capital with an operator's time and experience to take on real estate projects larger than what one individual could likely take down on their own. At Nomad, we partner with passive investors for them to combine their money with our time and experience to purchase and convert old big box retail buildings into Class A climate-controlled self-storage facilities so that together we can create great returns and generate passive cash flow. You should get to decide what the rest of your 100 years looks like. You shouldn't be trading the best part of it to make someone else rich and pay for their days off. You're supposed to live a life that is bigger than trading time for money. You are supposed to live a life full of time, financial, and location independence so that together it gives you an independence of purpose. If you share the same beliefs that we do, schedule a call with us at nomadcapital.us.